Good morning. I'm BKP. Let me get all this straight. It's Friday. Good morning from Sycamore Crossing in downtown Blue Ridge. It's my day. I declare it my day. Right, Sam? I told Sam, it's my day. It's my day. Now, it is, wait a minute. Let me back up. All over the place this morning. Luckily, I have this. We have the Broken Bull. We have the new Blue Home and Gift. We have the Quinte Peruvian store. We have Tupelo Tea. That's a beacon in the night. I come up here real early on Friday morning. I come down this street, Main Street, and I see that glowing Tupelo Tea like a beacon in the night, and I can't wait for 10 o'clock to get the doors open so I can get in there. They've got a nice sign about Paul's in the Park. We'll talk about that a little later. And this is downtown Blue Ridge. Now, you're going to hear some background noise, and that background noise is the train. It's Train Friday. The train always runs on Friday. We're going to hear the whistle blow in a minute. If you're used to watching the show, we're going to get all of our beer deliveries here in a little bit for all the restaurants this weekend, and we might hear some construction noises, but I love it here. Now, last day of summer, we are going to officially take summer one more week. We are. We can do that. I mean, I know the calendar says it's going to be over. We're going to take it one more week. Now, Sam, I just thought of this morning, and I know you've been here long enough to realize that spontaneously, I do things just boom, like that. It happens, okay? So let's write that. Yeah, I mean, hey, I make up words, I say things, I pronounce things. It all happens, and you've been here long enough. But here's what's going to happen, okay? I just thought of this, so get ready. Write this down. I want this to be a party atmosphere next week. I want this to party. I want the dancing boys, the dancing girls. I want the circus acts, whatever we come up with. I'm serious. I'm serious. You need to listen to me. We're going to go from 8 to 11. I'm doing a 3-hour show next week. I'm just telling you. We can't get this much party in 2 hours next week. I want to go 3 hours. This will be the end of the summer Sycamore Crossing party. I like it. I like it. I want guests. I want you to call Messrs. Food. Yeah, I'm going there. I'm going there. Food and everything. Yes, I want tables set up. I want people, our friends here at FetchYourNews.com, FYNTV. Bring on the band. I want a band next week. Yes, get in touch with us, 706-889-9700 if you want to be the band. I will sing. Yes, I will sing next week. Everything. Yes, I want the band here. I will sing. I want all of our friends at Fetch Your News here. I want Ace Hardware up here from Blue Ridge. I want Ace Hardware to bring some of their signs that they make. I want all the owners of these stores, Broken Bull, New Blue, Quinte, Tupelo Tea, here next week. We'll talk about their stores. It's going to be a party. I mean, it's going to be, I want streamers. I want party hats, everything. I want the whole thing. You got it? Let's work. And here's the kicker. There's always a kicker, okay? Here is the kicker. I do not want Pet of the Week next week. Well, I wanted to give you and them at home a chance to say, I want pets, plural. I want everyone. Bring all the dogs. This is going to be a party. I want every dog. They can even squeeze in a cat. Oh, my gosh. I know, I don't believe I said that myself. We're going to have, next week will be our last Friday at Sycamore Crossing. We've had a great spring and summer. We love it here. This is our home throughout this perfect weather, and we're going to be going into fall, and we will start the first Friday in October. We'll be over at our friends over here, Blue Jeans Pizza. We'll be over there on Fridays, first one. So next week, I just decided just coming on the air, 3-hour show, party. You come down, say hello. Hey, you, come on down. Anybody. Don't miss the party. You got all that? All right, let's move along. It's Fetch Football Friday. What does that mean? It's high school football, folks. Now, I'm going to get to some serious stuff we got going on today, but it's high school football. Got my Fan and Rebels helmet out here. Viral Friday, you're going to have to check that out. Now, we want everybody to know it's region play. That's why this is me on first region play game of the year. This is how I get. I can't wait. Now, tonight, folks, don't get upset with me, okay, but our Team FYN Sports Game of the Week will be the Union Panthers hosting GAC, Greater Atlanta Christian, and I want to go up and see Greater Atlanta Christian tonight. I want to see them play. They went for a state title last year. They're a serious football team. I want to go see them play. But your Fan and Rebels are traveling. I always go to a home game. Your Fan and Rebels are traveling over to take on North Hall Trojans tonight, and that's going to be something you're going to want to travel over and support your Fan and Rebels. That's going to be a good game. I watched the North Hall Trojans 2 weeks ago down at Pickens playing the Pickens Dragons, and I watched them 2 weeks ago, and I tell you what, this is going to be a game you don't want to miss tonight. And if you can't get over to Gainesville and see North Hall and Fan and Rebels, then you can follow us. Now, we want to ask you to do us a favor. We are streamlining some things so you sports fans out there that want to keep up with things happening in North Georgia can pick it up really quickly and not have to filter through a lot of other stuff. So we have created, 3 weeks now, we have created Team FYN Sports Facebook page. So we're asking you to go like our Facebook page, Team FYN Sports. Now tonight, we ask you to follow us on Twitter. So many of you do on Friday nights for the scores and highlights. So if you're Fan and Rebel fans, Jason Banks is going to be on the sideline tonight, and he's going to be knocking out some video clips. He's going to be tweeting highlights, scores, but you have to follow us on Twitter at Team FYN Sports. So do that for us. Fetch Football Friday, hashtag, and Viral Friday. We're going to have some things that are going to launch at noon that you're going to want to check out on Team FYN Sports. All right, we talked about the end of the summer Sycamore Crossing party. I tell you what, that's really got me worked up. I'm going to be up here at 5 a.m. setting up next Friday. That's just me. I'm ready to go. I'm already ready for the party. Okay, we're going to have Dr. Whaley here in just about 10 minutes. Dr. William Whaley, Ask the Doc. We want to thank Georgia Cancer Specialists for always supporting that and sponsoring that segment. So we're going to have Ask the Doc with Dr. William Whaley here at 8:15, 8:20, 8:17. All right, he picked out 8:17. We'll go at 8:17. So that, and then after the Ask the Doc, I want you to get the word out. Send it to everybody, because I have asked everybody that is a candidate running for Blue Ridge City Council, running for the mayor's position in Blue Ridge. If you are a candidate, this set is open this morning. Just show up, okay? Show up and you can be on the show, okay? So we're going to take from about we're going to take about 30 minutes, and any candidate that wants to show up, just show up, be on the show this morning if you are a Blue Ridge City Council candidate or mayor candidate. Okay, then what happens after that? We have the All-Star Political Panel, all right? All-Star Political Panel, that's at 9. And then what happens? Oh, we have the star of the show that we wait for every week, our Pet of the Week from Humane Society of Blue Ridge. Did I forget anything? No, I don't think I did. For sure, Sam will tell me if I did. Anyhow, so I'm all excited about the party. I mean, let's just start planning that out. I mean, all right, here's my little note this morning, and I want to go over that little preview of what we may be discussing on the All-Star Political Panel. Now, the media is working overtime to save Obamacare, if in name only. Now, first, I want to say to you that this repeal Obamacare that Lindsey Graham is pushing, I don't think it's a repeal, period. And I'm with Rand Paul, Dr. Rand Paul on that, Senator Dr. Rand Paul. But the media is working overtime because even if the Republicans pass something and they mask it as a repeal and they sell it to you and they brand it and sell it to you as a repeal, all right, the media is the most they're upset about is trying to save Obama's legacy and his name on it. They'll do anything to save that name. So if you're watching the media, they're screaming CBO score, and they're screaming no debate, and they're screaming that, oh, why don't we listen to John McCain and bring back civility to the floor of the Senate and debate and how it's supposed to work? Here's something I want to throw at you. Why do we only have to the end of September to pass something under reconciliation? Why is there a deadline, period? Why can you not go past the end of September and pass a bill in the Senate without it being reconciliation? What's that mean? 51 votes instead of 60. Why is that? Maybe that's one of those rules that Senator David Perdue could go on the floor and ask the Senate leader, Mitch McConnell, to change. Oh, the rules, the rules, the rules. Anyhow, so repeal Obamacare is coming from Lindsey Graham. That we have to be in fear of that. Being supported possibly by John McCain. They're going to fly him in again so he can vote for it. So we got to be prepared for that, right? So they're going to make a deal. They need Lisa Murkowski, so they're going to make some deals like for Alaska. Do you think it's interesting that the debate has come up on Obamacare right now? First, see, I always look for the underlying meaning of what's really going on out there that they won't tell you and I. And what I think here, don't you think it's interesting that Bernie Sanders, the self-proclaimed socialist, Bernie Sanders has introduced what? A Medicare for all bill, right? So it's like the steps are in place to manipulate you, the people. And that's just my belief, okay? I don't trust them. I just don't. So Bernie Sanders, the socialist, says Medicare for all. And then the President of the United States goes to the UN and says socialism doesn't work. And then Lindsey Graham offers a bill that says we're going to repeal Obamacare. Just interesting timeline how everything has worked. Okay? Now, they're going to return the money to the states. Now the media, I'm a states' rights. You're looking for where I stand? I'm a states' right guy, okay? We can get into detail. I like the union, okay? The union is there for a purpose. You know, protect me, give me some military, don't let anybody attack me. Outside of that, get the hell out of my way. Excuse me, I'm not supposed to do that so early on Friday. But I'm a states' right guy, okay? You just need to know that coming back. I love the state rights. But let me give you some caution on this supposedly repeal that has the liberal media up in arms, only because it's Obama's name coming off, and they're screaming. See, when they scream loud, it's supposed to push you and I, the conservatives, on the other side. So we're supposed to be agreeing with the repeal right now because they're screaming. Stay with me on this. So what I mean by that is they're screaming, oh, they're going to send it back to the states in block grants. They're going to send it back to the states, and oh my God, we don't know what the states will do. Block grants. I'll tell you this, watch what happens. When you hear that they're going to send the money to the states and you start cheering and they're going to let the states do at will and you continue to cheer, don't get caught off guard when the air comes out of the balloon and the party's over. Because let me tell you something, the last time they sent us something in block grants, maybe not the last time, it was the Department of Education. Okay, and the Department of Education, they sent money back to the states in block grants. And let me tell you something, you are very far from getting to do what you want, educate your kids, and handle your education system in the state that you feel best for your children. So you really think the block grants will come back on health care without the binder of requirements, the way you have to use it like this? Just, can you say Title IX? Can you? Block grants back to the state? Hey, I love the states having the control, but don't get confused and think that they're going to send the money back and the states have the control. Now, here's the second thing I want to see on this block grant thing. Here's another thing, the media to the left, if there's truth to the block grants and the states will have their way to be able to initiate how they want. Let me give you another thing that the media is really concerned about. Why be upset to send it back to the states? Why? Because 2/3 of the states in the Union have a Republican. They're either controlled by a Republican Senate and House and governors. I think there's only like 18, I mean, just check me, 18 Democrat governors. 2/3 of the states, the state houses are controlled by Republicans. So that's another thing that makes them nervous. You don't want to send, oh my God, with the exception of John Kasich, he is a Republican governor impossible. Test, 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 test. Yeah, this went off. Okay, sorry folks, are you there?
Yeah, we're live.
Batteries are dead on this.
Here, give number 2.
Sorry about that, folks. We are back. I apologize. I had to change lapel mics. But anyhow, what I was saying, John Kasich, okay, with the exception of him, there are all Republican. There's all Republican, for the most part, governors out there at state houses. So they don't want to turn the block grant money back to Republicans. And if they do, we will be able to see how many of these Republican governors and state houses are truly Republican. Now, there's another thing I want to watch for, because we got to go to break to get Dr. Whaley in here. Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook are going to cooperate. Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook are going to cooperate with Mueller's investigation on the Russian, the whole Russian investigation. We're going to talk about that at 9 o'clock. So I'm your host, BKP, and we're in Blue Ridge, Georgia, Sycamore Crossing. We come right back. We'll have Dr. William Whaley. Take a break.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff. Broken Bull, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing, is locally owned and operated. Our Simply Noel selection is the largest around. We have a great selection of unique clothing and several lines to choose from for men and women. We carry a beautiful variety of handmade jewelry from Blessed Be and others. All kinds of gifts, starting to carry shoes this fall as well. Come visit us on your next trip to Blue Ridge. We can't wait to meet you at Broken Bull, located in downtown Blue Ridge.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Ellijay Fitness Center, located at 379 River Street in Ellijay. Open 4 a.m. to 10 p.m. Locally owned and operated by Mark and Amy Woodring. Now offering sport-specific training to young athletes. Doesn't matter the sport. If you want to excel, let us help you be your best. Call or come by today for customized programs. 706-636-2348. Ellijay Fitness Center, your local and friendly health club. A place where everybody is somebody.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Be sure to check out New Blue Home and Gift, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. Find us on Twitter at New Blue Home. Everything beautiful for your home or a special gift can be found at New Blue Home and Gift. Call us today at 706-455-3873 or visit us at 531 East Main Street, Suite 103 in downtown Blue Ridge.
Hey, and we're back. I'm your host, BKP, and we're live in Blue Ridge, Georgia, Sycamore Crossing at the Broken Bull, the new and blue store, the Kinte Peruvian store, Tupelo Tea. We have some background noise and construction in small town America starting up this morning. We're going to hit the train whistle, and here with me, our regular guest, unless he's traveling. I've seen pictures of you with the grandkids here not long ago, last week.
Last week, yeah.
Yeah.
Week before last. Yeah.
Week before last. Our guest, Ask the Doc with Dr. William Whaley. I want to thank Georgia Cancer Specialist. Now, before we get started, I don't know if you got here in time. We're going to have a party next week.
That's what I heard.
All right, now I want you to get the word out.
I will. I just sent the
And
text
you're
out
gonna
while I
have
was
to-
sitting there.
And you're going to have to go over to the office and schedule just a couple extra minutes to be at the party.
I'll do it.
Let's do that next week,
All
because
right.
this is our last one, and I just love this location.
Yeah, I still think we could drag it out another few
I
weeks.
want
I
to, but
I know
there's going to be that one
I
day
know.
that the rain
Bang,
will come in.
yeah, I know. All right.
And she's going to say, I'm cold.
I told you already. She's cold. She's already wearing.
Yeah,
like-
she's already wearing a coat.
All right. Well, listen. Let me tell you. You know, you always have to say, how in the world did he get from here to there? That's what you always say. So
Here to there.
here we are. I'm starting with a helmet.
Okay.
We've been talking about concussion and head injuries,
Yes,
and
yes.
this is not your only helmet. You have two others over there off camera. And I was looking over these helmets, and I was struck right in the middle of my heart. This is made by Repeal. I started playing competitive football in 1948. And when I started playing in high school in 1951, we had leather helmets made by Repeal. So I had that old leather helmet that you've seen on television. That leather helmet gets me into the president back in those days, who was Harry Truman. Now, why did I go to Harry Truman to say happy birthday today?
How did we get from here
From
to
the
there?
helmet?
To there.
That was
Okay, I
Harry
like
Truman was the president. I was wearing a leather helmet,
Okay.
which Harry Truman gets me to say we need to say happy birthday today.
Okay.
To who?
I don't know.
United States Air Force.
Oh, yes, yes.
Today is the birthday of the Air
Absolutely.
Force. Okay,
Absolutely.
now the Air
Okay.
Force was the U.S. Army Air Corps, which began under General Mitchell in 1914 during the First World War, when Snoopy, the character in Peanuts, throws hand grenades out of the bomb. But right now, today, what's going on in the world, there are two groups of people you need to really think about. That's the special operators. So that's Marine Corps, LRPs, Army, Army Delta Force, and of course Navy SEALs. The people who fly them, who are the Air Force helicopter pilots in a group called SOAR, which you don't know much about. And my nurse's son, who's a Delta pilot, but the #1 A-10 pilot in the Air Force, who gets activated and goes and flies that A-10. That's a big old warthog. And people don't think much about the Air Force because you always hear special operators did this to Obama. I mean, to bin Laden. that was how they did to Obama. They got there on a SOAR helicopter, and that's the Air Force. So just let's say happy birthday to the Air Force today.
I did see that on one of the one of the websites. I did see that, and it just caught me off guard because I didn't know if I had forgotten, like maybe Jane's birthday.
Oh no!
Or
Hey, I've got another.
Let's say happy birthday. I got a little nervous.
I've got another place to go with it.
Forget.
Got another place to go with it. Now, who was the most famous baseball player in the world at that point in time? Makes a hamburger. There's a candy bar named after him. Babe Ruth. Okay.
Baby Ruth.
All right. Now that takes me to the president.
Wow, you just keep going.
I'm now.
You're getting from here to there.
I'm
We're
now
going to call a segment from here
I'm
to
now
there.
at the United Nations.
Oh no.
Okay. The most famous thing that Babe Ruth did was this.
Yes, he pointed out.
He
yes,
pointed
yes, he did.
where he was going to hit the ball.
Exactly.
And he hit the next pitch right there.
Right.
Okay, now that was immediate. So he did this, and within 30 seconds or 2 minutes, there was gratification for the crowd. Our president did that on Tuesday. He didn't point, he hit it. Because he began 2 years ago saying, I'm going to stand up for America. I'm going to put up some boundaries and walls. And these are going to be boundaries and walls, not necessarily the wall in Mexico, but these are boundaries and walls and not little old streaks in the sand that the waves can blow away or red lines that don't amount to red lines. And he stood up in front of the entire world in prime time in Europe, not at prime time in the United States. His speech was in the morning.
Yeah, 10 a.m.
10 a.m. What time is it in
It was
England and all
right.
across Europe? All the way to the Middle East. It's between 4 and like 9 at night. So that's the prime time for people to see him on television in the rest
let the
of the
whole
world.
know how we
Okay,
thought.
all right,
he
yeah.
thought.
But not only that, he matured it a little bit. It says, I need your help. And it's the right thing to do. He put it in the words of this is the right thing to do. And you guys need to do your own, we'll do the heavy lifting, but you need to at least do your part of the lifting. And so anyway, that was Babe Ruth. Now that all goes back to your helmet.
No more funding for countries that hide terrorists, and no more. I could break that speech down, and I couldn't agree with you more that there are things in the world that we do need to be unified or work together. Is that one of the beer deliveries?
That's one of the
Yeah,
beer
well, it's
deliveries.
one of the beer deliveries in downtown Blue Ridge. There are things we do need to work with.
There are moral imperatives. I mean, it says there's a book somewhere that's got about 10 of these moral imperatives, and I've forgotten what book that was. But you don't kill. There's 10 moral imperatives, and when that's what he was doing. He stayed away from the Bible, but he got up and he said, "This is a moral imperative. That human rights, and that these are moral imperatives that we need to stick to." Anyway, we didn't need to get.
So
we got questions.
I take it you enjoyed the president's UN speech. We'll leave it there.
I did. Well, I will say one more thing.
All right.
That within 48 hours, there was a response from the opposite team, and that was China's banking regulation or banking instructions that they gave out after dark last night. If
Yes.
I'm not mistaken, and I
Absolutely.
haven't had a chance to check, but I do believe that China instructed their commercial banks to quit doing business with North Korea, and that was about 8 o'clock our time last night.
Trump basically said, "You will help us with this, or we'll wipe them off the face of the earth."
Months ago, 30 months ago, whatever, he pointed to where he was going to hit the ball. and he hit the ball there Tuesday. Now, what do you want to know about smell or mammograms or something? Now,
well, these questions are. I'm like, why did I get these questions? But I'm going to go with them. Okay, what is the different mammogram guidelines? What are the different guidelines? I'm not sure when to begin screening and how often to go. So
okay,
that's
all right. Well,
a big one there.
Okay, now you have just opened Pandora's box. And I have brought some material that I'm going to give to Sam, which she is going to post on your website under the doctor thing. And if you look at this chart, there are about 20 lines about the mammography, and they represent exactly what this questioner is saying. There are so many recommendations, I don't know what to do. So we need to stop and think about who is making the recommendations and what is their motivation. You can clearly say that the motivation of the insurance companies or any groups that are of that type are to make the minimum recommendations to diminish the amount of money spent. Got that?
Yes.
All right. The recommendations that you would call sort of unbiased want to take the hazard-benefit ratio of mammography and balance it to the point where the benefit outweighs the hazard. And then lastly, the manufacturers of mammogram machines, or the people who do the biopsies, they want you to get lots of mammograms so they have lots of income. So here we have three groups of recommendations. So the U.S. Preventive Services Task Force, they recommend screening every 2 years, starting at age 50, and individualize those discussions between 40 and 49. That's the least, and don't do them over age 70. Now, the American College of OB/GYN, that's your gynecologist. They recommend beginning at age 40 and doing it every year up to age 60, and then after age 70, maybe do it every year, every 2 years, and most people say stop at age 84. I saw a patient yesterday that's 93 that's healthier than us, and I sent her to get a mammogram. So that's what they mean by individualize. But if you stop and think, 1 out of every 6 or 1 out of every 7 women are going to get breast cancer. The official number is 15 to 19% of the population. And they are reducing the opportunity for that percentage of people to get diagnosed with something that's 100% curable in its early stage. Flip over to the recommendations for immunization for kids. You with me?
Yes.
All right. They recommend that all kids at age 12 get an HPV vaccination. And I've sat here before and I've said I think they should get it. That's because that viral infection is not associated with any illness that those kids are likely to get that they would recognize and prevent, like measles and mumps. It's because it can prevent in their 40s to 60s cancer of the cervix and head and neck cancer related to previous infection with that virus. Well, the incidence of cervix cancer is so low, and the incidence of head and neck cancer is so low that it represents less than 1 in 100. And here they are giving all these kids shots to prevent something that will occur in less than 1 in 100, whereas breast cancer, which is pretty dramatic, is going to occur in 15 to 18% of women, and people say don't do a mammogram because it costs too much. I'm against that. So to answer your question, first of all, if there's a family history of cancer of the breast, if the patient is obese, taking estrogens or whatever, you want to start earlier, you want to do it more frequently. If you've got if your mother had 12 sisters and your grandmother had 12 sisters and nobody in your family's ever had ovarian cancer or breast cancer, and nobody's had any cancer, and you're a little skinny woman and you don't drink very much, get a mammogram at age 40. Then individualize that discussion with your doctor about getting other mammograms, but keep getting regular mammograms until at least 70 years of age. And whether the interval should be 1 year or 2 years, I'll let you discuss with your doctor. Now that drives us around to colonoscopy, where we were a few weeks ago. I think you were talking about Ray ordering colonoscopy on somebody, and that's another place that I think we ought to mention, that if you turn on the television, the people who make Cologuard, the one that you mail in, they come and they show you, the guy brings the FedEx box or the UPS box to the house, and they say you can collect this and get it. There are so many different screening tests for colon cancer, from what we used to do with a digital rectal and a blood test, to a flexible sigmoidoscopy, which looks at the bottom couple of feet of the colon, to a colonoscopy, which looks at the whole 8 feet of the colon, to this particular test, which is a more sophisticated blood test, to tests that try to find cells and measure genetics. Well, all of those other ones that you see advertised on television are driven by that profit motive of the drug company, not by equivalent sensitivity to the colonoscopy. And they will make you want to think, well, I don't want to drink that gallon of stuff, and I don't want to, that doing this is just as good as going to the trouble of having a real colonoscopy, and the answer it is not. And so the colonoscopy recommendations, and I have that big old chart here, and Sam's going to put these on the website. Everybody believes that you should begin screening for colon cancer at age 50 in this general population. We'll take Jane, since we mentioned her earlier. Her mother is one of a family of 11 brothers and sisters, and I don't remember exactly, but 4 or 5 of them have had colon cancer. Well, that's a different animal. Those people ought to be screened at age 40. And the screening really is another place where you need to sit down with Ray Tidman or sit down with whoever your doctor is, get through your risk factors, how many people in your family have had cancer, and so forth, and then make a decision. Yeah, I'll have one at 50, and then at that one, if it's totally normal, you'll do another one about 5 to 7 years later, and if it's totally normal, then it'll be 10 years between colon exams. But anyway, we're going to put this up on the website. We're going to let people look at it. And the last thing this drives me to, and if you'll notice when you look at this says grade A evidence, grade C evidence. That's how strong is the evidence. And so when you're looking at this colon and rectal thing, the very last line, and I'll just show you so people know where to look. The U.S. Preventive Science Task Force made a recommendation on aspirin use for primary prevention of cardiovascular disease and colorectal cancer in average risk adults. Now, I've been talking about that it's worth it to start taking a baby aspirin when you get to be about 40. If you don't have ulcer disease and you're not allergic to aspirin and all the little knots, because of its measurable decrease in the amount of colorectal cancer and heart disease. Boom. Finish with that one.
Is ovarian cancer still possible after a hysterectomy?
It's a great question. Most hysterectomies do not include removing the ovaries. So yes, if you had a hysterectomy and your ovaries are in place, obviously you can have ovarian cancer. Second, the ovary is a kissing cousin to the testicle in terms of embryogenesis. And when that little egg is becoming a fetus, there is a strip of material that runs down the backbone. If you've seen these ultrasounds on television where they say a woman who wants to get an abortion should look at an ultrasound of her kid before she does, that strip, which is a gonadal strip, will either become a testicle and descend out of the abdomen into the scrotum, or become an ovary and stay up there next to the uterus. So even when the uterus and the ovaries have been removed, that strip of tissue that way back when you weren't even born yet was potentially a gonad, testicle or ovary, is still there. And there is malignancy of the retroperitoneal gonadal strip that is exactly ovarian cancer and occurs in people whose ovaries have been removed 20 years before. So the simple answers are: 1, if your ovaries have been removed with your hysterectomy, the chances of getting ovarian cancer are 0. But the chances of getting the gonadal strip cancer that's exactly like ovarian cancer are real, but they're very low. How's that?
That's good.
All right.
What would make a person smell odors which are not there? They aren't unpleasant, just nothing present to produce the smell.
Now you
Now,
think,
I don't know about this. I don't know about this question.
okay, I know that you don't, and I can tell by the way you looked at that question as you think, that sounds like somebody's kooky. This is a kooky question here.
I didn't. Well, maybe. Did you think the way I looked at that question?
You did. You looked like this is a kooky question.
Okay.
This is really not a kooky question. It's just an extremely complicated question. And unfortunately, it has a lot of answers. And what's that? That's a zero. It's really got zero cures. So the mechanism of smell and the mechanism of taste are bound up together. The most common thing that causes these abnormalities of smell begin with things that you think are common. One, if you have a dental abscess or something like that that's in your jaw, and your taste buds are here and your smell buds are there, you can see how you might be able to smell without anything around you except an absolutely empty room, things that would be coming from dental issues, let's just say infection. But the most common ones are very common right now. Our ragweed and our goldenrod pollens are very high. So allergy is number one. Rhinitis, meaning any type of a cold or whatever, is number two. Chronic sinus disease, which lots of people have, is number three. Nasal polyps, which are sort of the result of all of that, are number four. Now there are other ones that are, you know how you can have mumps and end up with a testicular swelling, or you can have mumps and end up with pancreatitis, and you can even die from it. So a viral infection can affect other organs like testicle and pancreas in mumps, but viral infections that have nothing to do with blowing your nose or coughing can affect the receptors in the nose and receptors in the mouth, and then leave them damaged for a while, so that you have these peculiar effects of either can't smell at all or smell something that's not there. Now that gets you into the kind of the stuff that's common, but the rest of the things that cause you to have these smell or taste things are nutritional inadequacies. For some reason or other, you got this kooky diet and you don't get any copper in your diet or whatever. Toxins, like marijuana, the stuff that's in energy drinks, dietary supplements that you get off the internet that are supposed to help you.
Wonder who you're talking to.
I wonder
Just keep
who
going.
I am. And medicines. So going back to the question, you thought it was crazy, but the common things are common. And so you go back to the allergies, you go back to sinus, you go back to polyps, you go back to those sort of things. And then all the rest of them are less common. And lastly, if you've had a head injury, you can have this that occurs years after the head injury, from the long-term results of what's going on in the brain. And I think you saw yesterday that Boston College released the autopsy of the brain on Hernandez.
Yes.
Hernandez has the worst case of post-traumatic encephalopathy that they've ever seen, and I think they have 300 or 400 brains now. So if he had told you a year before he started shooting people and going nuts that he was smelling stuff that wasn't there, that was could be the result of long-term encephalopathy from concussions. So see, you thought that was a silly question.
No, I didn't really think it was a silly question.
15 minutes of talking.
I didn't think it was really well. I get caught off guard every week by some of the questions, but then after I ask them and you start into explaining them, I'm like, okay, well, yeah.
Yeah, not so dumb.
Well, I don't say that.
No, but you mean
Okay.
you think it. That wasn't so dumb at all.
Any final things we have?
I've got a really good one. Yesterday, the American College of OB/GYN, every week we come here. And as you know, in the last couple of months, I've traveled to 3 states where marijuana is legal. I was in Washington State twice in the last 6 weeks. And they took in more money in 2016 on marijuana tax than they did on alcohol tax. And there's literally a marijuana store every 2 blocks in Spokane, Washington, where my brother lives, and that's not a hotbed of pot smoking. I can imagine what San Francisco is like today. But literally just walking from here as far as that restaurant in Spokane, Washington, in the nicest part of town, you would pass 2 or 3 people sitting on the ground smoking pot. Well, this legalizing of marijuana in lots of places has got, last week we talked about women pregnant drinking alcohol.
Yes.
And I said, look, it's gotten to the point where 1 drink or 2 drinks during the entire pregnancy, you shouldn't do it. Well, people think because they've legalized marijuana, well, we can smoke pot. There's a huge reason not to, and the American College of OBGYN yesterday came out with an official statement based on all the research that the marijuana effect on an unborn fetus in terms of the neurological development is so potentially harmful that you should not smoke pot nor get passive smoke from pot during your pregnancy. I think that's worth people hearing.
Dr. Whaley, I appreciate it. I thank you every Friday morning for this great information. And like I said earlier, now you know we're going to have a party next week. So come in a party mood.
All right, don't anybody forget, Sam's putting up these 2 charts for you on the...
You'll be able to find this segment. You'll be able to find this segment under our community section in the website, fetchernews.com community section. And we will have the Ask the Doc video, the segment this morning, plus all this great information, maybe that will be helpful to you in making some decisions, medical decisions. But as we always say, contact your doctor.
Talk to Dr. Stedman or whoever your doctor is.
Call Ray.
Call Ray.
We should put that up. Anyhow, thank you, Georgia Cancer Specialist, for this segment, sponsoring this segment. Thank you, Dr. Whaley. Now, when we come back, we're going to take a brief break. When we come back, we opened our next segment to any candidate for city council or mayor that wanted to come by and say hello. We do have a candidate, but we're going to leave that for you to figure out who on the other side of this break. We do have a candidate. Well, we'll go as far to say, no, we won't. Stay with us.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff. Broken Bull, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing, is locally owned and operated. Our Simply Noel selection is the largest around. We have a great selection of unique clothing and several lines to choose from for men and women. We carry a beautiful variety of handmade jewelry from Blessed Be and others. All kinds of gifts, starting to carry shoes this fall as well. Come visit us on your next trip to Blue Ridge. We can't wait to meet you at Broken Bull, located in downtown Blue Ridge.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Ellijay Fitness Center, located at 379 River Street in Ellijay. Open 4 a.m. to 10 p.m. Locally owned and operated by Mark and Amy Woodring. Now offering sport-specific training to young athletes. Doesn't matter the sport. If you want to excel, let us help you be your best. Call or come by today for customized programs. 706-636-2348. Ellijay Fitness Center, your local and friendly health club. A place where everybody is somebody.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip, We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Be sure to check out New Blue Home and Gift, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. Find us on Twitter at New Blue Home. Everything beautiful for your home or a special gift can be found at New Blue Home and Gift. Call us today at 706-455-3873 or visit us at 531 East Main Street, Suite 103 in downtown Blue Ridge.
Okay, we're back, and I'm your host, BKP, and we're in downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. And we have invited, we just throwed an open invitation for any Blue Ridge City Council candidate or mayor. We just opened it up, said come on down, everybody is invited. My next guest here is a candidate for mayor, and we're here with Brendan Doyle. Got
Correct,
it right?
yes.
How are you doing, sir?
Doing very well this morning. Thank you very much, Brian.
Let's go right into your reason for wanting to be mayor of Blue Ridge. Very simple.
Well, over the last number of years, as I have built up an entrepreneurship business here with a restaurant and bar, I've grown to love the community since the early 90s, and I've had an active interest in property here for over 20 years. And just in the developments and growths and the concerns of the community and the citizens at large, who asked me to give it due consideration. That is why I brought my name forward for candidate for mayor here in the city.
Okay, so what are concerns, community at large? I mean, what are some of your target issues if you were elected mayor that you would focus on or would like to see the council focus on?
Well, there's a very big divide and harmony amongst the citizens of the city. The economic prosperity of the city has grown at a phenomenal rate over the last 8 to 10 years in our lives. There is a lot of dissatisfaction and mishap on the professional level pertaining to trying to find a vision step to move forward in a very healthy way. And sometimes we take a step forward and we take 4 steps backwards. But when that continually happens, you have to look at just the aspect of professionalism within the leadership of the community and to try and build those bridges of professionalism that we serve both the resident and the economic future. There's a lot of interest and growth here within the city pertaining to the resident side. And when you see the harmony of both commercial and residential beginning to blossom, it is a beautiful power, but we have to look to the future in the next decade in our lives and back into it.
So if elected, what are some of the particular things that you have been a witness to? Let's just go with the last 4 years, the last administration the last 4 years, and pick out some of the bullet points, drill down on some of the issues that you would most like to focus on if mayor.
Well, we have issues. I mean, we have a lot of big network engagements. We have both the Business Association, the Chamber of Commerce, the City Council. We have the railway company. We have independent entrepreneurs. We have business people that are leasing properties from landlords. And that's a big hub that moves any given hour of the day with those 5 spokes running at any given hour of the day. And when you look at just adding and growth as regards to park developments, park enrichment for the social atmosphere, like the Blues Crawl was a fantastic success story here within the city. And we take our reality stages, we look at it and we see how we can best implement it and serve, as the train has grown so wonderfully with the support of the city pertaining to parking, adding more train runs on a given weekend throughout the year with 8 extra thousand passengers from last year, for example. We have a horrific stress problem on the parking level side, and we have to build harmony bridges. We can't just keep adding and adding things without relief happening in some positive and proactive way. For example, the aspect of property taxes has raised tremendously over the last 36 months of our lives, and that shows, you know, the different tiers of growth that we're trying to manage and implement, but it can get quite exhausting when that is passed down to even the business tenants here in the city. Everybody has to adjust their financial operating balancing plan on a given basis, and there's a tremendous sacrifice given by the entrepreneurs of the city that are business people too. So when we look at the collaborativeness of these things, I think, you know, communication is life and death in all our lives. We have to be very proactive in why we're trying to do something, why we're trying to implement something into the future, and how can we grow with these 5 different branches that are a mainstream here within the community of Blue Ridge.
You brought up, and usually when I'm speaking with a candidate,
Yes.
I follow up what you say, and my follow-up question that
Yes.
I've heard a couple times you mention is professionalism.
Yes, I have.
Level of professionalism and unity in the level of professionalism. So what would you find, I guess, unprofessional, or what kind of professionalism would you bring to the council? Because the Blue Ridge City is set up with what's called a weak mayor that implements council policy.
Yes, I have.
So how would you run your meetings? What level of professionalism are you actually identifying?
Well, in light of the different branches that the city oversees, from its administrative standpoint, from the water system to the expansion and enrichment programs to the development of streets to looking at aspects of collapsed culverts that have been aged out within the city that run through residences, properties and different things of that nature. You know, we should have a proactive plan always in place. We're dealing with a lot of growing pains. We're dealing with a lot of inherited, aged out equipment, for example, and these things have to be factored through. From the aspect of being a mayor, it is bringing collegiality and confraternity and balance, that the professional engagement of the individuals can be valued, and we can look at a very proactive plan to try and move forward and be leaders in what the citizens of Blue Ridge are asking us to do. And when there is a cry both from the residential side of the community and the business side, it is you can be caught between a rock and a heartbeat, for example. And the aspect of involving oneself within the community is a very important thing. Engaging and knowing what the pulse on the street is. It is like this wonderful opportunity here this morning, right in the heart of the city. You bring reality in life, and you just bring the proactive daily engagements of enrichments that are happening to support the community with those that we have our economic comment on the residential and the tourist standpoint. So it is balancing levels that we can continue to serve, and we can look into a very proactive part of planning to where we want to be as a people. If the leadership and the baton has been handed to us today, how can we be more proactive to try and continue to build that wonderful harmonious power that we're all engaged and excited to be a part of.
All right. Well, let me before we wrap up, and I appreciate you
You're welcome.
Being here. But before we wrap up, let me go with one more thing.
Yes.
This is every candidate that sits here, and stay with me on this. Every candidate that sits here, I do hear proactive.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm not questioning anything you say. I hear proactive. I hear future.
Right.
I hear we have to do planning for the future. I hear that with almost every candidate.
Yes.
Now, not being negative to anything
Yes,
you said this
yeah.
morning, but as the mayor,
Yes.
okay, you have an administration,
Correct.
and I'll leave it up to you to bring any name in.
uh-huh.
That would be up to you. I'm not going to. But as the mayor, you have the previous administration that basically faced those challenges 4 years ago.
Yes.
4 years ago, when the administration that's there now, council and mayor, took office and were sworn in.
Yes.
They faced almost everything I hear today. Every candidate comes here.
Yes.
Everything I hear, they faced it then.
Yes.
Okay. Mayor doesn't have a vote, but the mayor I guess in my words, should be able to be a good liaison, a good negotiator, somebody that can bring the council together and unify them into going forward.
Yes,
So just saying that, and not that you're just saying it.
right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
But just saying we need a future plan, we need to, we have culverts that are
Yes,
out, all that. Do you think you could, as mayor, be a good liaison, be a good leader, be somebody that can bring the council together? Because you and I both know there's some council members that will return, some that won't return.
Yes.
You and I both know the council members that are over there now, maybe some reasons why things aren't done or are done.
Yes,
You understand where I'm going with that?
I do indeed, yes I do. I think the charter of the city really is the cornerstone and the template of all our lives. There's a great vision concept to that, and it is there to serve us, it's there to protect us, it's there to help us, enable us to grow into the future. And that's such a critical key part within the heart of residency and commercialism. And it is knowledge is power. Educating people is a very important thing. There's been a lot of stresses going on the professional level of commercialism. But when you look at the heart and the entirety of who we are as a community, both those that are living here 24/7 and those that have businesses here, some are year-round businesses, which we've been very blessed to grow into in the last 5 years of economic enrichment in our lives. Some are still operating on a seasonal schedule, for example. So you have two wheels that are moving for the servitude. And as a business person, when you do commit to service, you commit to operation and public hours of servitude. The dynamics of our present council members, they're all good, professional, and very successful people, for example. They've all done very well. They've all lived and weathered through a lot of hard, dark hours here within the heart of the community. And from the concern of what they see and what they're trying to protect, so that the enrichment is neutralized and the equality is served to all. You just can't have one group just to say, here's a typhoon wave, we're going to do what we want to do, and we expect every enrichment to be able to do it. But there has to be calculations, there has to be safety factors. You have to look back to the vision of the charter, and you have to say, is this viable? Is this something that we want to enrich? Is this something that has an enrichment for the blessedness of all, for example? But if there's a selfish string of capitalistic gain, it puts an awful imbalance within the momentum of that dynamo. And when that happens, everything can go helter-skelter. It can be an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But you can't just look at one aspect of selfishness. It is, what's the heartbeat of who we are as a people? And I think being able to try and work into that and educate your citizens and the business people, and as I said, like with the 5 different entities, we all have to come to the table because we all have to take a very active responsibility in this. You can't just keep pointing the finger at one and saying, well, it's your concern, I want nothing to do with it, or we're looking into something, as if the wheels are just spinning and there's no traction to it, everything goes into an imbalance in some way, shape, or form. So it does.
This is my final question,
Yes.
and this is, I think if you watched any of the other interviews, I've asked several
Yes.
candidates this, and this is my question.
Yes.
This is my personal question to everybody that's here. I, for one, do not agree with the total slate of candidates in a year. I've asked, I don't like that we run all 5 city council members and a mayor in one election cycle. Love to see a staggered,
Yes.
maybe a mayor and 2 city council, and then 3 city council. I'd like to see something staggered. Would you support, because my opinion, this is my
Yes,
opinion,
yeah.
clearly, is it makes it, no matter what candidate it is, it makes the last 6 months of the last year purely just an election, and the city council meetings are, to me, campaign meetings.
Yes,
That's
indeed.
my
Yes,
opinion,
yes,
okay?
yeah.
Would you support staggering?
I would be very open to that, Brian, and it is no more than just the electiveness of mayor. It is, if a lifetime is considered 10 years, or 7 years, forgive me, it is running for extended terms of office. It is,
Okay.
the blood has to flow. The blood has to flow, and we're as you say, with all the upset and unfriendliness that's turning within the area, we're hemorrhaging in pain, and we're looking to a better and a brighter future. And how can we build these type of things? It's no more than the charter of the city. Yes, we can addend and amend certain things to serve that. That would be a very good bloodline, because it's giving freshness and it's giving momentum, and it is not that it can just perpetually continue office after office, for example. So whether it is mayor that serves a 2-term or a city council serves a 2-term, it's a good commitment in itself. But sometimes you have to step down in order to allow the prosperity of growth and an enrichment happen.
Well, thank you. Just like we tell every single candidate that comes on the show, FetcherNews.com wishes you well in your campaign.
Thank you very much, Brian. I appreciate it.
And we thank you for your willingness to serve.
You're more than welcome. Thank you.
We've been with the mayor candidate, Blue Ridge mayoral candidate. I don't know. Am I getting this wrong or right?
It's
Brendan Doyle. I don't know if I get it wrong or right. Brendan Doyle, candidate for mayor. We'll go with that direction. And folks, any candidate that comes and has an initial interview, we always allow them to just clearly give their platform, position, and why they intend or wish to be council member or mayor. But the second interview, if they come back, which you're welcome back, let you know now, the second interview, we might drill down into some pointed questions. That's just the way we are. But I'm your host, BKP. We'll be back with our all-star panel right after this. Again, thank you. Take us out of here.
Papa's Pizza to Go in downtown Blue Ridge is the best in the area all-you-can-eat buffet. Call ahead or order online now at papaspizzatogo.com. Use our convenient pickup window for the best in pizza, subs, wings, breadsticks, salads, and more. And be sure to check out our lively game room. We serve lunch and dinner, catering available, take out or dine in. Papa's Pizza to Go in Blue Ridge, proud sponsors of the Fannin County Rebels.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
The Tupelo Tea mission is to provide over 80 premium tea blends for tea lovers who are looking for ways to explore new flavors and blends. Come visit Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. Be sure to sample our various varieties of honey and tea. Visit us on the web at tupelotea.com or call us at 706-946-TEAS. That's T-E-A-S. Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge. Kinty Artesian Silver and Gifts, the Peruvian shop, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. Fine sterling silver, luxurious baby alpaca and exotic woods. A beautiful selection of exquisitely crafted gifts for all of your special occasions. Visit our website, artesiansilvergifts.com, or follow us on Twitter at Artesian Silver Gifts. Kinty Artesian Silver and Gifts, the Peruvian shop in downtown Blue Ridge.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in Ellijay next to Walmart.
Trumpet.
Hey, we're back, and it's time for our all-star political panel. We are at Sycamore Crossing. We have the Broken Bull, New Blue Home and Gift, Kinty, the Peruvian store, Tupelo Tea, the Beacon in the Night. Hey, how come the beer truck got a...
Still here.
They're still here.
This Bud's for you, right behind you, I guess. I have no other choice, but we're doing a beer commercial.
Anheuser-Busch loves it.
Yes, we're doing a beer commercial right here. But it's small town America. I love it here in Blue Ridge. I really do.
Yeah.
And now next week, we have Richie with us. Richie's with us. Rick. Rick is out on special assignment. We've sent, he's man on the street. Don't we have him with a mic down
somewhere? Yeah.
Yeah, man on, he is man
Johns
on,
Creek.
Johns Creek,
Yes.
man on the street. That
Yep.
would be Rick if you bump into him. But a regular. That's who you are now, just regular.
Hey.
Bruce. Regular guest here, Bruce. You know we're having a party next week.
I just heard, yes.
Yes,
I
it's
mean,
a party.
how exciting is this?
All right, well, I want you to know we're going to go from 8 to 11. We're going to stretch it out and bring everybody. Tell Barb I'm putting her on the spot right now. She has to come to the party.
Okay.
Okay. And we're going to have a party.
Okay.
This is because this next Friday will be our last Sycamore Crossing show.
Ah.
And then we move into Blue Jeans.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
beautiful weather, but October we just draw it. We better go inside just in case. You know we have those great things, and we have Paul's in the Park in October. You want to bring your pooch down. We're gonna talk about Paul's in the Park. And Humane Society of Blue Ridge shows up with the star of the show. Okay. War of Words.
Indeed.
What say you? Go. I love my John McLaughlin. Go. War of Words, Bruce.
Where
Go.
did Kim Ding Dong come up with dotard?
Oh,
I
no.
never heard that word before. Dotard. He called our president a dotard. I just, have you heard that before?
No, I had to go to the dictionary. Have you heard that, Richie?
No, sir.
No? New one? War of Words. I'm not going to keep going back, but it's troublesome to me, the people that are supposed to bring us the news, and this is like rehashing fake news, but it concerns me, the misinformation, that now all of a sudden Trump is the guy that's bringing the war of words, and he is the saber rattler, and
a provocateur. I mean, he should not be provoking this guy because it's like poking a rattlesnake.
North Korea, but somebody has to do something sooner or later.
Well, yeah, but look what he's doing. He's shooting missiles off, and now he talked about doing a hydrogen bomb test in the Pacific.
Yes.
Who's the rattlesnake in this scenario?
Kim Ding Dong.
Okay, gotcha.
Hydrogen bomb test.
In the Pacific.
Because
Not over the Pacific, in the water.
Because Trump ratcheted up sanctions on basically an executive order.
Hey, yeah, but the Chinese, I mean, they responded.
Yes, the Chinese
Finally.
responded. And, well, wouldn't you, I don't know, I'm thinking the Chinese and their response and where we're at on this, don't you think the Chinese response, if you're sitting there at the UN and you're the president of the free world and you look at, or you're the president of the United States, leader of the free world, and you look at everybody out there in the audience and say, I will wipe this man off the face of the earth. Now, I'm looking at you and telling you for the last time. Is that how you took it?
Well, yeah. I mean, what's the other side of the coin? The other side of the coin is there will be, massive death and destruction in South Korea and Japan, and possibly across the border into China. So, all those surrounding countries, really have a chip in this game. And of course, you rarely ever hear their leaders stand up and say anything about this. It's all sort of like in the background. Trump's the only one who's talking about it. because we're going to be the ones that are going to go in there and like pull the triggers or drop the bombs or whatever it's going to be.
Are you concerned, Richie, with going in first or waiting for him to do? All right, let me ask you this question. If he tests, and he calls it a test, if he tests a hydrogen bomb, are we supposed to wait to see where the thing lands? Or do we take that as the initial firing the first shot?
Well, I think it depends on where it lands. I mean, if he bombs Japan or if he bombs South Korea, then that's one thing. But, you know, Trump did talk a lot about nation-state sovereignty. So wouldn't you know, it's kind of a catch-22. But I don't know. I think that, you know, when Obama was president, nobody believed him. He made empty threats. No one took him seriously. Whereas now with Donald Trump, you see China's reaction now.
But everybody loved Barack as a diplomat. You know, he was smooth, he was cool, he was like doing the diplomatic thing.
Sure, but it's...
Can you keep doing that? Like when it's smooth and... I mean, yeah, okay.
It's almost like with Bush, though. People believed him. He would follow through and destroy... I mean, look what he did to Saddam Hussein.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people believe Trump. I think they believe that he might actually do it.
Well, to the point in mainstream media, he's a warmonger. You know?
Sure.
He's going to drag us into, you know, World War III.
And they want that more than anything, to be able to call him a warmonger, because that's a tried and true formula, just like they did to Bush.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, well, I think there's a segment out there that enjoys war and advocates war, and he is, I think if he launches a hydrogen bomb, regardless of the word test, that's a no.
Yeah.
Period.
Well,
That's a no. And no disregard for what you said. I don't think we say, well, let's see where it lands. No.
Well, I mean, if he explodes it, whether it's in the atmosphere or in the ocean, I mean, think of the environmental fallout from
Right.
that. I mean, there's going to be irradiated fish for what, 20 years? Would any nation stand for that? I mean, think of the Japanese. They do a lot of fishing. They eat a lot of fish. Anywhere in their waters, you know, where it's going to be poisoned for decades, maybe.
If you're Rex Tillerson, Secretary of State, do you send from the administration here notice to China that the minute that thing leaves the launch pad, we consider it a strike? If it's got a hydrogen bomb strapped to it,
I would go there. Other than the fact that, you know, I don't know if this is true. The little bits of information you get, I don't know if they have moved enough forces into the area to be able to, you know, have a fast response, because, you know, protecting South Korea and Seoul and the 12 to 15 million people that live there is paramount.
And it's 33 miles away or 36. I mean, it's
and that's paramount. So I don't know if the forces are in place to have that kind of response. So I think he has to be very careful in the words he uses to you know, say to North Korea, if you do this, you're going to regret it.
Regret.
I
don't think they'll be around to feel the emotion of regret.
Well, we say that, but like, you know,
I know what you said.
If
but
bombs and
they're going to
missiles
regret
start flying, it's not going to be, you know, like, you know, a 2-hour war. You know, there will be pockets of resistance that won't be touched, and who knows how the Chinese will react, and, you know, it's not going to be a neat, clean surgical strike. It'll be messy.
Well, China and Russia have basically said, in general terms, that if we strike first,
I mean,
that they're going to back them. So they're leaving that open, that if, you know, we're going to have to see what considers a strike. UN message. Let's talk a little bit about the UN message. For you, Richie, what was the highlight for you when you watched President Trump at the United Nations give his speech?
The highlight that stood out the most for me was when he talked about Venezuela, and when the quote, I'm paraphrasing here, but when he said, Venezuela has failed not because socialism was implemented poorly, but because it was implemented faithfully.
Right.
And I thought that just spoke volumes of his ideals, American ideals, and the funny thing afterward, the foreign minister from Venezuela actually was trying to insult Trump and said that I didn't know if I was listening to Ronald Reagan or Donald Trump, thinking that that was some sort of insult, when in reality that's about the best compliment you could give a Republican president.
Yeah.
What was the standout for you on that United Nations speech?
I liked the part where he talked to the leaders of the world and say, you know, you like us really need to put your people first. So every national leader sitting out there really needs to put your people first. And I understand that, and that's what I'm saying. But then after you do that, you have to really come together and work for all these ideals you talk about all the time, but really do something, not just mouth the words.
I thought it was quite interesting to see that, and I want to go with this because I want to ask you a particular question. I thought it was interesting to see that I know what teleprompters have. It actually comes up and says pause for possible applause.
I always wondered about that. Does he have a button to control the speed? Or is it?
No, there's somebody working the speed. My thought would be somebody's working the speed. It's following him, and it may be it may time his voice. I mean, technology, it may time his voice, slow down. But there are pauses. I mean, if you read from a teleprompter, there's times when you write a speech, and it says pause for applause. You know, your applause line or whatever. Same thing with the State of the Union. I noticed that possibly in the teleprompter there was a pause at that point, and it was a hush across the United Nations when he made the socialism comment that it doesn't work, and there was a hush, and there was actually some gasp in the room, like and instead of Venezuela, when he was talking about socialism, I was wondering how the representatives of Europe felt. I mean, for me, it doesn't.
Yeah, it would have been nice if they panned to the Russians too.
Right. Well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because hey, it doesn't work. Whoa, wait a minute. You're supposed to be our friends, and we're socialism is in Europe. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I think they feel they've backed away from pure socialism. You know, they have democratic socialism.
Oh, okay.
You know, let's split hairs here.
I have a question for you now. You and Rick have been traveling. Just returned from a trip, but you know, when you take a trip and you take a trip on with a travel planner, travel agent, and you take a trip, which is good. A lot of times it's a setup trip that you only go into certain parts, and you go into parts where the visitors and the tourist areas. So sometimes you don't see the lay of the land. You don't connect with the real people.
Yeah,
all right.
You're right.
And where I'm going with that is, you've traveled enough to where in your last trip you actually went over a week early to be with friends.
Yes.
So meaning you know some people that are not the tourist. What do you think in some of your travels here recently of what the world really thinks, or some pockets in the world think of us, our president, and where we stand on some immigration? I don't know how many. What do you talk about with those people? It's got to be politics, right? That's all we do.
No, I said there's this guy in North Georgia, Fetch Your News, and they said, how do we get hold of this guy?
There you go.
No, the German and Belgian friends that I visited before our cruise, both were a little fearful of Trump, and it reminds me so much when I first went to Europe back in the 80s to work. I mean, this was when Reagan was in power, and he was talking about putting SS-20 Pershing missiles or something in Britain, as a missile defense against the Russians. And then all the papers were like, who is this nuclear cowboy? And those are the terms they used for Reagan back then. And I think there's that sort of distance, from people overseas understanding, what Trump is doing here. They're that far away that they just get the mainstream media headlines, and they don't get stuff like we talk about, or like how people really understand what he's doing with regulations and rollbacks and all that sort of stuff. I think they get the saber rattler, the uncouth, rough-edged guy. And so both our sets of friends over there were saying, we understand he's doing some good things, but he just seems a little, rough and in your face.
And that goes back to your point about him explaining his brand of nationalism at the UN, and I think he did a great service to Trump on the world stage, because you're exactly right. The narrative that people in Europe, really around the whole world here, is filtered through that mainstream media, the diplomatic community of sort, the globalist sect, if you will.
Yeah, and our German friends, I mean, we met them in Singapore, so he's very, they are very world-traveled and understand things, and he has much more of a globalist view than, say, our Belgian friend who, you know, has more of an insular European view. She hasn't traveled as much, and she seemed a little bit more fearful of Trump than they were. They understood some of the global things that he was trying to work on. And you know, I'd really like to get their opinion after the UN speech. Of course, we were back by then, so.
Folks, we're going to take a brief break, and when we come back, we're going to have some final thoughts. I want to talk about Mark Zuckerberg. Facebook has done an about face and is now wanting to cooperate with Mueller, the special counsel, on possible
Mueller.
You're a solo act today, okay? Special counsel Robert Mueller. You know, and the other thing we're not going to leave out, folks, I don't know if you see this from the table, but Bruce has a folder. See how nervous? It's top secret. He brings top secret information. I'm not allowed to open it. But we're going to I want to know what's in the folder. So when we get back, we're going to put Bruce on the spot about the folder. I'm your host, BKP. Don't forget, our star of the show is coming up. We get back, Mark Zuckerberg, about face, and Obamacare.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff. Broken Bull, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing, is locally owned and operated. Our Simply Noel selection is the largest around. We have a great selection of unique clothing and several lines to choose from for men and women. We carry a beautiful variety of handmade jewelry from Blessed Be and others. All kinds of gifts, starting to carry shoes this fall as well. Come visit us on your next trip to Blue Ridge. We can't wait to meet you at Broken Bull, located in downtown Blue Ridge.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Be sure to check out New Blue Home and Gift, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. Find us on Twitter at New Blue Home. Everything beautiful for your home or a special gift can be found at New Blue Home and Gift. Call us today at 706-455-3873 or visit us at 531 East Main Street, Suite 103 in downtown Blue Ridge.
Hey, I'm your host, BKP. We are live at Sycamore Crossing in downtown Blue Ridge. I have the Broken Bull. We have the star of the show waiting in the green room. We have the Broken Bull, new blue home and gift, Kinty, the Peruvian store. I just like saying that. When I get to there, you gotta enunciate it. Kinty, the Peruvian store, and Tupelo Tea, the beacon in the night. This is downtown Blue Ridge, so you hear all of our truck delivery noises, and we love that. I'm here with Bruce and Richie. Rick is on special assignment. Okay, now let me go here for a minute. I actually like to cover things that come up later, say where people come back and say, wait a minute, they were talking about that a couple weeks ago or a month ago. I'm really nervous of what the direction is, of the Mueller investigation in several areas. But I'm really nervous with this all of a sudden, finding $100,000 worth of ads placed by Russian connected companies to the Kremlin. Would you agree, just yes or no? Don't you get tired of media saying connected to the Kremlin? Did I not realize everything in Russia is connected to the Kremlin?
Hello?
It don't matter. If you own a little business, you would say, well, Bruce went in this store and it's connected to the Kremlin.
Yeah.
That's what they do, right?
Socialist countries are centrally planned. Hello.
Exactly.
China.
Hello.
So, exactly the same.
I get the interested when Facebook has found these fake Russian companies connected to the Kremlin that placed $100,000. Now that's a blip.
They said over 3,000 ads.
Yeah, over 3,000 ads. Now, okay, so that's enough. Now we have evidence on so many other things. Susan Rice, the list goes on. Okay, but that's enough right there.
Samantha Powers.
Exactly. On a day, no, right?
Yeah.
It was found.
How does she get away with stuff like that?
I don't know how they get away with stuff like that.
More than one per day.
Yeah, I don't know.
For final year.
How do they get? I'm at a loss.
Angie Earp, School of Diplomacy.
Bruce. Oh my gosh. Facebook says it will hand Russian-linked ads over to Congress. Facebook is turning over to Congress thousands of advertisements suspected, I like words, suspected, okay, to be linked to Russian attempt to undermine last year's presidential election, Mark Zuckerberg said Thursday. So in the next election, if I'm suspected, if you're suspected, you see, that's, when I read things, I pick out some words that are suspected, right? I am nervous about them reaching in because Zuckerberg shared the company's next steps. Scares the hell out of me. Suspected and next steps during a Facebook Live video stream for Facebook headquarters in Mena Park, California, where he addressed measures the social media giant is taking to protect. There's 3 words now. I'm going to give you 3 words. Protect the integrity of future elections. 1, suspected, next step, and protecting me. Those scare the daylights out of me, Bruce.
Well, it's all going back to, the Russian connection. Well, how can we bring this back to the forefront of the news? Let's put it back in the spotlight, and let's see what we can do with it. Plus, you take what Mueller is doing with the, and I don't know if it's so much him, but I mean using the fact that Manafort was wiretapped since 2014.
Yeah.
And they said,
where did Manafort have an apartment?
Yeah, Trump Tower. And again, they asked Clapper the other day. So could
now Clapper wouldn't lie.
He wouldn't lie at all.
No.
Straight as an arrow.
Sorry, get that in.
And was Trump's voice heard? Well, maybe, I don't know. It's just like all these threads that they're just trying to keep out there in the spotlight, and it's disturbing. It's very disturbing.
Does this concern you? This move with Facebook?
Yes, to protect the integrity of future elections really just means to protect Democrats. I think our agenda, because they're still upset at the role social media played, the fact that Donald Trump had that figured out and that he knew how to use it. I don't think they saw that coming. But in general, this whole thing is an insult to people who voted for Donald Trump, people who supported the president, rural Americans, our viewers. because they're suggesting that somehow Russian bought ads of Facebook time and things that would come before our eyes somehow influenced us not to vote for Hillary Clinton and choose Donald Trump, as if the problems we faced were not real, as if, you know, Obamacare wasn't destroying rural America, as if there was not an opioid crisis, as if the economy wasn't, I mean, you name it.
Don't forget coal miners.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, people just being forced out of jobs.
People assume, the elites, you know, to borrow a word from the election, assume.
Ken, this is for you. Keep going.
That they're stupid. That,
sorry,
you know, those idiot coal miners. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Well, I mean, 8 years of
how out of touch
quantitative
they still
easing.
are.
8 years of quantitative easing that, like, you know, really didn't do much for the economy. We're still low growth. You know, wage growth has been, you know, lousy. And yeah, all that is like being you know, embellished and enshrined as Obama's legacy. And, you know, the people out here, our listeners, our viewers, I mean, they're just not feeling that.
Not to
and that's
mention
what they voted against.
turning on their television at night and seeing big cities across America getting burned to the ground, cops getting shot.
Yeah, people no regard for the law anymore, just totally disrespecting rule of law, rule of order.
Well, I like everywhere you went, but let me bring it back to. Let me narrow this back to the subject here. Now, you know, I generally, being it's football season and I like high school football, I generally like to, let me throw, you know, I like to throw the 90-yard pass about the end of the show to see if anybody catches it at the other end, okay? Has Mark Zuckerberg unmasked these accounts? No, seriously, I want you to think about that. I want you to think about it. Is there, when you wiretap, okay, when you wiretap because of international, when you're concerned about international whatever, won't get into details, you go to the FISA court, okay? FISA court says, yeah, you've got enough proof that says we better listen in. So is there a difference in audibly listening in or looking into accounts? I don't know. So is Mark Zuckerberg cooperated and unmasked several accounts? Has he? I don't know. Can he and the internet just do that to all of your accounts now? Can they unmask anything at any time now? I'm serious. I want you to think that out, because listen to where I'm going with this, okay? Because Mark Zuckerberg knows that I can set up a fake account when this show is done, and I can make it look like to you that I'm somewhere in Texas. I can have a fake account sending you robot, you hear those bots. I could have a fake account sending you political messages with bots that I set up as soon as the show's over, and I can make it look like I'm anywhere I want to be.
Would that be Vladivostok?
Huh?
Vladivostok?
Yes, that's Bruce. But he knows that.
Russia.
He knows that. Okay?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying it's okay, but when you start trying to figure out, I'm just telling you, when the next election comes up and you post something and you say, hey, I want to give Zuckerberg $20. So you go in and you tag, I want to give him $20 because you can do that right now. So if you write a post and you say, I want it to reach people in this area, you can go in and geographically, you can pinpoint, you can put a zip code in, you can go here and you can go 30 miles out, 50 miles out. I do it all the time. Okay? So I know you can do it. So if you write a post in the next election about somebody's opponent, and doesn't matter where you're at, and you pin it and you put it out and you give them $25, guess what? Will Zuckerberg decide you're trying to influence an election, not just from Russia, maybe from Georgia to Texas?
Mm-hmm.
When will be the next thing that identifies, and what will, as Richie said, the integrity? You understand where I'm going?
Yeah, and going back to your lead on this, I mean, with Mueller, I mean, taking the tapping and this sort of Zuckerberg stuff, it seems like the investigation is going to places it was never intended, with the goal at the end, I think, to find somebody.
And where did this all start? When Rand Paul warned us. Now I don't go 99-11. I call it 99-11 Rand Paul. I don't do that. Well, let me tell you something. There's things that Dr. Rand Paul say. When did this happen? Patriot Act. When did this happen? When the NSA, what did Clapper lie about?
Spying.
That's right. Collecting your information.
Snowden.
Right? He lied about collecting, not knowingly collect, unwittingly. I thought this week, I was listening to I was listening to Clapper talk to Chuck Todd, and he said, did you do this? And he said, no, the NSA spoke to when he lied. And he said, if it happened unwittingly. So I said, is that the reference to, like, that's what you call it, dimwit?
I think it's dimwittedly.
Dimwittedly.
Yeah.
Bruce and I are on the same page.
He said he would definitely know, and he can deny it.
He's so full of crap.
We've got to go to our pet of the week, and what do you
I
have?
one
You
more
can
point
have.
to make.
Go ahead. This is your final thought of the day. Go ahead.
Donald Trump, in 6 steps, needs to call a primetime address, say this whole thing is nonsense, I'm ending the investigation, I'm pardoning Manafort, Flynn, Comey, Clapper, Power, you know what you did, and you're welcome. Bob Mueller is fired, your final check is in the mail, enjoy retirement. I have not pardoned Susan Rice or Hillary Clinton. Finally, all details related to Russia are declassified, so no more I can't answer this in open session, and then leave.
Okay.
Drop the mic.
You gotta drop the mic. Okay.
End it. He can end it. So
Okay. Well, I've been trying to run Mueller off for a long time. I got a little heat over that, but I don't know where.
You have been saying.
I get so tired of hearing Mueller and integrity. Oh, don't you dare! You can end it. You can end with that. That can be. We want to know what's in the binder.
This is all my notes are like hot topics that I like to just have reference on. So it's
in
stuff
case
on
something
coal.
comes up, you can go through the. Is there a filing?
Will California ever thrive again?
No.
That's in the folder.
Yes.
He has a file on YouTube, but he doesn't bring it.
Oh, do you have a file on me?
Absolutely.
You're
But
former,
again, I mean, remember
you're
I've been
CIA,
reading some
are
Bill
you?
Gates stuff. Bill Gates, again, I mean, he's certainly
Go
not.
for it.
He's not, in the middle. He's a little left of center. But he gave a speech to some high school kids way back when, and again, he had 11 rules, and I've read some of these before, and I love number 9. Life is not divided into semesters. You don't get summers off, and very few employers are interested in helping you find yourself. Do that on your own. I love it.
Very true.
Okay, just check.
Yeah.
So that's.
I got stuff on coal. I got stuff on philosophy. I got stuff on wind power.
That's your filing system.
Well, yeah, it's stuff that I like. Issues
Is
that
that
excite
in
me.
is that in the Bruce organized fashion? You can thumb through that just like that. Come on.
No, it takes me a little while.
Takes
It's a
you a
little
little-
disorganized.
I love the folder. Rick, we hope you're having a nice day.
And Johns Creek.
And Johns Creek. And we're almost ready. I would, I said final thought, and I just want to take maybe a minute. Repealing Obamacare.
Rand Paul's not on board.
He's
Yeah.
not. But do you believe, I want to say anything, do you believe anything they are saying when it comes to this repealing Obamacare?
Well, yes, because I don't think it's all-out repeal. I think it's like by attrition.
Right.
Which is happening now anyway. So I think, if they can do something and get a spade in the damn thing, I think that's a good step forward.
And you?
I like the idea of federalism. I do not like the idea that, a state like California can implement it single payer, and then in 5 years, as Sean Hannity said, have to come back hat in hand and ask for more money because their version of it did not work, whereas states like Georgia can implement it, or like Kansas with the savings.
Little nugget
accounts.
I heard this morning. All 50 state Medicaid directors are against this the latest bill. All 50. And you wonder why that is. Medicaid, not Medicare, Medicaid. It's because they don't want to have the responsibility for the money. The state's going to give them a certain amount of money, and they're going to have to live with it. It's not an
Don't get me started on block grant.
Spigot.
Yeah, why not just let the states decide?
You know what I've determined?
What?
I don't believe a single word they say. Not a single. Not even one. I just don't believe nothing they say.
So is inaction better than some action?
I think it's all a smokescreen for something that we are going to deal with later that is no better than where we're at now.
I agree with the deal with later. I don't know if it's any better or worse. I think it's probably worse if we wait.
Republicans had planned for Hillary Clinton. I mean, we know that they had planned for her to be president, knowing they would probably still keep majorities, and that 2018 would be their chance to get their supermajority and really act. So,
okay, folks, let's remember. Let's close with this. Let's remember and keep a clear perspective. It's being brought to you by. It's like a detergent. This is being brought to you by your senator from South Carolina, Lindsey Graham, which Donald Trump took his phone number and put it out, and then Lindsey had to destroy his phone. And yes, this guy likes Trump enough to put the right bill on his desk. I'm sorry, coming from Lindsey Graham, I can't live with it. And we know they're going to fly John McCain again and do a whole dramatic thing about, maybe bringing him in a wheelchair this time because he's dying or something. I don't know. Anyhow, yeah, I'm serious, right? Am I wrong? I should take a look, right?
I haven't seen him for a while. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't seen him for a while.
Yeah. But, I mean, and now they're like sweet talking Lisa Murkowski. So
sweet talking. Oh, my God. Don't go there. Don't go there. We're out of time.
Will the House even
out of
pass
time.
it?
Do you want to say it before we leave? You want to say it?
No. Mueller.
I'm your host, BKP. Too much fun, but we're gonna increase that fun. How can you do that? By having a 3-hour show next week, 8 to 11, and the party's on. We got the pet of the week. I've already told the Humane Society. It is not going to be pet of the week. It's going to be pets everywhere.
Barking and yipping.
Barking and yipping everywhere for all of us. I'm your host. When we return, pet of the week, Humane Society of Blue Ridge. Go.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff. Broken Bull, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing, is locally owned and operated. Our Simply Noel selection is the largest around. We have a great selection of unique clothing and several lines to choose from for men and women. We carry a beautiful variety of handmade jewelry from Blessed Be and others. All kinds of gifts, starting to carry shoes this fall as well. Come visit us on your next trip to Blue Ridge. We can't wait to meet you at Broken Bull, located in downtown Blue Ridge.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Be sure to check out New Blue Home and Gift, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. Find us on Twitter at New Blue Home. Everything beautiful for your home or a special gift can be found at New Blue Home and Gift. Call us today at 706-455-3873 or visit us at 531 East Main Street, Suite 103 in downtown Blue Ridge.
and I'm supposed to be ready when they come back live. I'm your host, BKP. Yeah, you chill just a second. And we are at Sycamore Crossing, and we have the Broken Bull, New Blue Home and Gifts, Kinty, the Peruvian store, Tupelo Tea, and beautiful downtown Blue Ridge. Rena is here, and our star this week from the Humane Society of Blue Ridge. What's your name?
Rainy.
Rainy.
Rainy, rain, rainbow.
Oh, she said, forget that. Give me the treats.
And she will sit for them.
No, we got to do it. Hey, get your paws off me.
He's got it.
All right, we got to do it.
You're tricking her.
All right, let's do a chopper check. You know what I do. Oh. So who is this?
You have to let her finish eating so she doesn't choke.
I wrote a song for you. Do you like to sing?
Another song?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wrote a song for you. I like to sing to the... Let's check your choppers.
Right.
This is how we check choppers. Get your mitts off.
You gonna sing?
I don't know. In a minute.
Okay. You want me to talk before you sing?
I don't know.
Tell us about the puppy.
Yeah,
All right. Rainy, believe it or not, is right about 4 months old. She is a
you are
puppy.
Rainy.
She's going to be a, medium to large dog. She's a lab mix.
We're checking you.
She's been with us since August, so just a little bit over a month, really. And Rainy is a wonderful dog. She loves people. She loves to play. She loves outdoors. She loves dogs. She loves playing, and she rode okay in the car. She just sat in the back seat. I have to put her in there, but she didn't have any trouble getting out. But yeah, she is just really just a lively dog. She was an owner surrender, and she does have a little skin issue that we are dealing with right now, but it's nothing to worry about, and she'll be looking really great in a couple of weeks. And she's not quite ready for adoption. She has to be spayed still.
She has great choppers.
She does have good choppers, yeah.
I'm sorry, folks.
She does have good choppers.
I mean, if they expect any more out of me, it's just too bad. You come and try this with these beautiful dogs.
Over here.
And I'm sorry, did I interrupt you?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think I was done. I don't even know anymore.
Hey.
Speak up.
It's hard to keep up with it, right?
It is. I think I explained
Put
her
it on
all.
your nose.
Did I explain pretty much everything?
Sit, boo boo. Sit. Sit.
She's a really good
sit,
dog.
sit.
I think
Good
I had
girl, good
Angel.
girl, good
Didn't I
girl.
bring Angel one
Good
day?
girl.
Okay, we do believe she's one of Angel's
Sing.
siblings,
Sing
and
a
Angel was a
song.
little smaller.
Make it happy to last the whole day long. Don't worry if it's not good enough for anyone else to hear. Just sing a song, and then you have to go la 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 la. That's how it goes.
Of course, you
Oh
could
my gosh.
replace
Am
sing
I
with
doing,
sit. Just
Am I
sit.
doing this? Is it, are we
Yeah,
live?
we're live. Yeah.
I sing to the puppies.
And the puppies give kisses. Yeah, she's a kisser. She's a lover.
This has to stop.
She is such a sweet dog. She really is. She loves to play.
You know, the Humane Society of Blue Ridge, I don't mean to interrupt you, but
you're
we
fine.
never leave without saying we have to take this one, we have to take this one.
I know.
Every week is like, oh my gosh. And you guys do a great job, and we want to thank the Humane Society of Blue Ridge and all of the people out there working. I want to thank Rena for bringing a pet every week, our star, but we also want to highlight and say hello to everyone out at the Humane Society who works so hard. They have a great intake program. They have a lot of dogs and cats, and you have everybody out there works so hard. And we like to talk about matching the dog up with the proper owner, which seems to be me every week, the proper owner. I am the proper owner. But matching the dogs up seriously with families with small children or either families that have other dogs. And you guys really work hard to try to match that and facilitate that. But there's a meet and greet process, and tell us a little bit about that.
I do believe that Rainy would be good with kids and with other dogs.
Kids is just
like,
me.
Yeah. But we do have a meet and greet process that we do. If you're interested in Rainy, fill out the paperwork. It's on our website, which I'll give in a little bit. And we set up a time that you can bring your dog, and we put your dog and our dog, Rainy, together with no other dogs around in one of the runs to see if they, come here, baby, to see if they get along and if they play well together. And that is the best test that there is in order to make sure that there's no issues at the house. And also, if you have a small child that you want to see if the child likes Rainy, we want them to come and do a meet and greet also, make sure that the child is involved with the dog and likes the dog, and then that way the dog's not kind of left alone, that there's always a child to play with, or in this case, Brian.
Have you heard about our party?
I did hear about
Yeah,
that.
we're going to have
Yes,
a party.
Yes.
I just thought of it this morning.
Yeah, that's
we're
a good
gonna
idea.
We're going to do a 3-hour show. So what we want to do this week is we want to get, we're going to have a Humane Society segment, not just Pet of the Week. It's going to be plural.
Okay.
Not pet. I don't care. I mean, like I said, we'll even slip in a cat. Oh, the humanity. What I want to do, I don't care what we do, man. You can bring a little table over here and bring 3 or 4. We're gonna put the tripod on wheels. We're gonna roll it out there. We can talk to people out there. We're gonna party.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll bring as many as I can.
Bring extra puppy treats for all of our guests.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So have a lot of fun. Humane Society of Blue Ridge. How do we find you?
Well, you can call us at 706-632-4357. Go to our website, humanesocietyofblueridge.org, and look at everything on our website from adoption to volunteering. You can help volunteer with us and help us with our dogs and cats. And follow us on Facebook and see all of our new dogs that come in and anyone who's been adopted. And did I miss anything?
No, but I think you're a very...
171 Mineral Springs Road.
I think you're a very curious pup. I think you want to check everything out. Oh, all right, come back. Come back. Folks, you've been watching Good Morning from beautiful downtown Blue Ridge, Sycamore Crossing every Friday. Now, next Friday will be our last outdoor show, but don't get nervous. We're working out all the details now. We will have our Pet of the Week. We're not going to stop that, but because it is getting a little in October, do we have another beer delivery? Don't look, pup. Okay? You're too young. But anyhow, because it's October, it may get a little cold. Those are the stakes. Make it a little cold. We'll be indoors at Blue Jeans Pizza over here. So next week is our party. So follow us on Facebook. Watch Off Fetcher News. We'll give you all the details of our big end of the year Sycamore Crossing party. Rena, thank you so much. And again, we appreciate each and every one of the volunteers out there at Humane Society that work so hard in taking care of these beautiful animals and trying to find them a home. Let's adopt this beautiful dog today. No, not me. All right. Let's adopt this beautiful puppy today. Oh, you said give him a look. All right. And we will be back Monday morning. It's time for high school football. Follow us tonight. Team FYN Sports. Like our Facebook page. And follow us on Twitter at Team FYN Sports. High school football tonight. Your Fannin Rebels are traveling over to take on the North Hall Trojans. Got it right. Richie, we're out of here. We'll be back Monday morning.